Hello, hello, my love. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. Okay, so truthfully, I've tried to record this like 3 times, and this is as far as I've gotten. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. And I start laughing of like giddy joy, and I don't really know why. I'm really excited to be here today, and I really love you guys, and I'm excited for what we're talking about. But there's something excited and giddy coming through me in this moment to the point where I'm alone in a room, like laughing, going like, okay, let's just record. It's just a podcast. You've done like 400 and something million of them. Let's do this. Anyway, welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. Today, I want to talk about coming at your goals in a whole new way, because sometimes we feel like we've been going after the same goals. We feel like there might be something on our vision board or in our mind that we're not really moving forward toward. We feel like we're at a standstill, or sometimes we're going to call ourselves out in love, because sometimes I do this too. We're just kind of waiting for things to change and waiting for the universe to deliver our next step or to deliver the desire even better. Just like Amazon Prime, we're just kind of waiting for it to show up. We're like checking the tracking, refresh, like how long is this going to take? Anyway, sometimes we have our goals. I'm clearly in a weird mood today. We have our goals and we've been trying to go about them in the same way. And we're either, again, at a standstill, or we're just unclear, or we've kind of been waiting, or we're not sure. So we're going to dive into looking at your goals in a whole new way. And part of the intention here today is to have perspective shifts on how you think of your goals and how you've been going about them. So before we actually launch in, if your goals you can bring to this episode as you're thinking about it and reflecting, it can be one specific thing that you're looking for, or it can be something more like a state of being, like more peace or more love or healing or vitality. Or of course, we can talk about, I need to manifest this amount of money, or I want to get a promotion at my job, or something more specific. Either way, we're good. We're going to talk about it. And I find with clients, everyone that comes to me, because they're just like you and we've all got desires and dreams, and it's not that the dream isn't meant to happen. And that's often people will at first kind of say like, I'm experiencing this and this and this. So like maybe it's not really even supposed to be, but often it's not a problem with the dream. And I just want to say that first. I feel really called to say it's not that the dream is wrong or that it's something that isn't going to kind of come true for you. It's not about that. It's about having perspective shifts to understand the spiritual, the energetic, the physical part of transformation, of self-growth, of manifestation, of creating what we want. And so often we just need perspective shifts. That's everything. Actually, on the path this month, if you remember, we're talking about mindset mastery, and we're going to be talking so much about how your perspective and your perception truly is the thing that creates your reality. But anyway, so when we shift our perspective within our goals and toward ourself, and we start seeing things differently, then we usually get a fresh new idea. We get a fresh wave of inspiration, or someone comes into our life that helps us, or it could be as simple as, a way of keeping track of something that really motivates you. And it was this app that came in. Like, it can be these little and big things start coming in to support you in your goal. So the problem is not with the goal. Essentially and eternally, there are no problems anyway. There's no problem. There's just dreams and desires that you have on your heart and something energetically that seems to be in the way. So we're just going to talk about this. We're going to talk about looking at your goals in a whole new way so that you can have a fresh perspective, gain a few tools through this episode, and really start to see yourself and your goals in a new light. Okay, if you're ready, I'm ready. Grab a sip of water from your Stanley or grab that coffee and let's dive into this episode. Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm so excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life. My name is Talia Joy, and I am committed to showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to go on a magical journey of spiritual and self-growth to manifest the life you're meant for, we are now besties. Let's dive in. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the waiting trap. And this is because I want to get it out of the way, especially with manifestation and different things. A lot of people do just get caught in waiting. It's very easy to either just wait for the universe to give you a sign, wait for the universe to drop it in, waiting for your next inspired idea, waiting for the breakthrough. And I do think there's a certain amount of timing, and we do need to sacred pause, and we do need to receive. However, just waiting and waiting and waiting while feeling like you're not moving forward isn't the clicked in place if you do want to move forward. If we wait, the universe mirrors that back. So I want you to think about that. You pause, the universe pauses. You wait, the universe waits. You hesitate, the universe hesitates. And that's why things like, leap and the net will appear. It's actually quite true, where action is what starts to create clarity. So if you wanted to get healthier and you were like, oh, I've really been called to this yoga studio, you go there, either you like it or you don't like it. And that actually helps you because, hey, I liked it, I'm going to go here more often. That can help you in your health journey. Or, you know what, it wasn't really for me, but I am craving something more cardio. Okay, let's go look at, the gym or classes. So as we take steps forward, we get more guidance, just like the GPS. You have to leave your driveway to start getting signals, right? From your GPS, like go left, go right. You got to actually leave the driveway. So in this waiting trap, checking in, being aware of when you're taking time to process and think of ideas and envision and take a moment before acting, or is it simply waiting, just waiting? Or we're obsessively checking and refreshing the emails and refreshing the sales carts and refreshing whatever you're refreshing and hoping that it just changes, or journaling the same things. Like I personally, it might shock some of you, but I don't even write manifestation lists because it kind of used to bug me. I would see these things that weren't coming through and it actually took away from what was coming through in a weird way. That's just personally me. A lot of people thrive with a list. Anyway, but if there are things that have been on the list over and over and it's not happening, it starts to feel almost like a to-do list or a like hopefully type list, right? And we get frustrated when nothing changes. I recently had a client that really felt like she was doing everything right. She was reading self-growth books and doing the things. She had her vision, like her version of a vision board and a, list, affirmation. She's doing gratitude stuff. She loved the moon, totally my kind of person. But nothing was truly shifting, or it wasn't shifting on a big level. And when we kind of reflected back and jammed out about it, she kind of realized that there was this energy of waiting because she didn't know what the right move was to take. And that was a big thing, that she didn't want to make a wrong move, right? Obviously, she wanted it to be really clear and really obvious. And sometimes we get caught up in waiting, not leading, not showing life, how this is going to go, hoping that everything becomes clear before we act becomes a trap. We actually need to act, and then the next step appears, just like the GPS. We act, try something, and then we feel into if that felt good or if it didn't feel good, right? Taking those micro or macro actions, you always learn something. Always. Every mentor I've worked with, I've taken something away. Every book I've read, I take something away. Every fast or cleanse I've done, I've taken something away. Personal development courses, relationships, everything. You always take something away. So don't wait, don't hesitate, because when we hesitate, the universe hesitates. So the next part I want to talk about, and with my client, actually, what we started shifting her into was the focus of becoming instead of waiting for. So we started looking at becoming that version of herself, embodying that energy. How would that version of herself navigate this moment of no clarity, this moment of feeling frustrated, right? And once she started doing that, she started moving much more quickly. And in between our days, she'd be like, I did this, I did this, I did this, I put this out in my business and I did this. I'm like, holy crap. But it's from a different place. It's from, I'm going to become it. And I got to a point too where I was like, F it, I'm going to create it because I don't know if the universe is going to drop it in my lap. Like if no one else is going to do it, I got to roll up my sleeves and do it. Of course, we are open to divine guidance, and I'm going to talk about that here as well. But there is an element of that masculine energy of you choosing to become it, to be the change. And once my client shifted the focus onto becoming, things moved much more quickly. And she started feeling more at peace or more confident, more just like, I don't know if it's the right thing, but like, I'm just going to choose to trust. And it wasn't all easy, but these are the shifts we make that really change our energy, right? So checking in, are we in waiting energy, and sort of, really looking, examining, seeing there. So the next thing I want to talk about regarding your goals is quantum alignment and the identity aspect. So again, on the path, if this stuff resonates with you, this is the place to be. We are going into identity in this mindset mastery in March, where we're talking about shifting your identity, and it's so powerful. There's lots of stuff there too about the quantum. I'll leave the link for the private community if you want to join on the path, ongoing education, bite size. It's also good. Okay, so we can't neglect or override the alignment piece, because you don't get what you want, you get what you are. And to bring it all the way down to the ground, if someone wants to become an athlete, if they just want it, is that enough? Is simply sitting at home on the couch wanting it, is that enough? They have to become it. And I recently heard someone on a podcast, I don't remember what it was, but it was talking about identity, and a runner sees themselves as a runner. So if it's raining or if it's sunshiny or whatever, they're running. If they're on vacation, they might go to the gym on the treadmill or find a place. They're a runner. They assume the identity of a runner. So we don't just get what we want, we get what we are. Your reality is a reflection of your dominant energy. Yes, your beliefs, your self-concept, your identity. So if you're trying to create more abundance, but deep down, you identify and feel like someone who struggles with money, or with myself, I was doing a lot of effort into manifesting money, but what I didn't realize is a lot of me was operating from lack and scarcity, even beyond money. And that was something that I was like, ooh, that's out of alignment. The person that welcomes in overflowing abundance doesn't also have a very present, sneaky lack and scarcity wound, right? So I had to look at that. That version of me that is in that overflowing place, that does have ease with money, needs to learn how to navigate that and close that gap. And I've been working on that now for maybe over a year. The focus shifted away from money and more like, okay, these general places where I'm disconnected from whatever vision I have. So we can look at this with, just being successful, being confident, being healthy. We have to start to align that with who you genuinely are in order for the universe and the cosmos and, people and resources and moves to be made. It starts at home. So when we talk about quantum alignment, it's essentially shifting your identity, and it's a practice. It takes time, but it's shifting your identity to match your desires, or to match how your desired outcome looks. So shifting your identity to match that desired outcome before the physical proof shows up. This is important because the next question is like, well, how do I feel abundant if I'm not abundant? Like, how do I feel vital if I'm in pain? And that's, I totally understand, but this is quantum alignment. This is the practice. Shifting your identity to match that desired state before. So for me, I lean into a lot of self-trust, believing in myself, celebrating myself, because I don't have all the answers. And I'm not, fully confident and fully this and fully that and fully healed. That's not exactly what it is. My version of quantum alignment is the me that even loves myself more, that roots myself on, that goes after my dreams and makes big moves because I trust and root myself on, right? I trust myself. I'm at my own side, making sure I succeed. I've got my back. So that's the identity I lean into. And when real stuff happens that wants to pull me out, something doesn't work, or I have, pain in my body that flares up, or something goes on, I learn how to go, okay, how would that version deal with this? Because life will always be up and down. Things happen. So how does the version of you deal with it that's in that end result? So to bring it back down to your goals, I want you to think about the goal you have that you're thinking of and who is that version of you on the other side? What is the dominant energy? What are your beliefs? What is your self-concept? This is essentially where we go for quantum alignment. And we practice. We practice as, like, I identify as my dreams are manifested. So let's feel good about myself. Let's feel inspired, not from force, but from flow, not from, lack, but from opportunity. When you become the version of yourself who already has what you want, when you play with that, when you flirt with that, when you try that on, your reality bends to meet you. Thinking about the version of you who naturally attracts wealth. Are they constantly worried about money? Are they anxious? Are they avoidant? Are they, nervous around it all the time? They may, probably not. They probably move through life with confidence or move through dealing with money, with trust, with making decisions, with being with your finances. So we just start to take steps to get comfortable with our finances or to be someone who health is a priority. What does that mean? Is it a little bit more walking this week? What are the small shifts we can do to start to align who we're being and who we're being in relation to our goal? What is our identity around that goal? Because that is usually where the gap is you don't see yourself to be that person yet. And if that resonates, that's what happens with me as well. And I have to start to assume the identity. I have to start to practice being that bigger energy to show myself, my nervous system, the universe that I can hold that. And now I want you to think about when you start to ask yourself, what do I do to create this thing? What do I do to make more money? What do I do to feel better in my life, in my body, whatever it is? I want to make sure that we're thinking about the energy of nourishing versus forcing. So if you had almost no further instructions, except you have to nourish yourself into this goal. You have to nourish this goal. And of course, I'm going to talk about it more here. But if I just left you with that and you're like, what? But somehow you knew, like psychically, it was like the key to life and you wanted to like dive further. You didn't just write me off. What does that mean to nourish my goal? Okay, like to fuel it, to take care of it, to make sure it's got nutrients, to give it fertile ground, to take care of it, to almost like drip feed the steps. Like I'm just kind of, freeballing what I would think. And we want to start to think of nurturing our goals rather than forcing, or rather than thinking like, what is the one way to get there? Like how to manifest $1,000.com, how to build a business in 3 easy steps. We have to move away from that and into nourishing our goal. So forcing feels like hustling, feels like over efforting. It feels like being frickin' drained, feels like gripping really tight. It feels like trying to prove yourself or make things happen out of fear or anxiousness or any of these other emotions. Forcing also feels exhausted and burned out. And often you start to get, depending on what we're talking about, what area of life, and if you have a business or if you're creative or whatever. But I was going to say, my creativity gets zapped. My intuition feels gone. My almost like imagination. When I'm forcing, it's like everything feels like a stone wall and I have no clue what I'm doing. Nourishing my goals feels more like taking action because it feels good. Making it light and easy. Like, what can I do today? Drinking a glass of water is nourishing my body. It feels lighter. Nourishing feels like moving with flow, with certainty or excitement or openness. Nourishing feels like trusting that my job is to lead, is to take steps, and also to be guided and carve out my path. Nourishing my goal feels like, what can I do right now to make sure I am successful? And I want to say, if you knew you would manifest this thing, if you knew you were creating this goal, like within a short amount of time, how would you nourish it? If you absolutely knew it was happening, look back and go, how did you do that? How did you nourish that goal? So one of my clients recently was hitting a wall in her business. So whether you have a business or not, this will relate, or you'll maybe be able to relate. And she was doing the same thing over and over, launching and just feeling drained and frustrated. And I've seen this with health, with lots of things, right? And when we shifted her approach from nourishing her business versus pushing harder, and even nourishing the program she was launching, nourishing her community, that started to change the energy almost overnight. And she found that she was wanting to share more, like on stories, that was vulnerable. And then it had people more like relating to her and going, wow, that I can really relate to that. What's that program you're talking about? And things started changing. And it was very simple. But we think of our goals sometimes like we're gripping so hard because we're like, what do we do? What is the right answer? If it's not here by now, I must be doing something wrong. These thoughts are very normal. But we have to loosen the grip, we have to unclench, and I want you to think about nourishing your goals versus forcing. So asking, with no further instruction, if you take that goal you want, and I said, okay, what would you do to nourish it, to make sure it's successful, to ensure inevitable success? Go. Okay, so the next part before we wrap up is the spiritual and deeper aspect of your goals. So that thing that you have on your heart, it is there for a reason. And you may have a lot of, like smaller goals or superficial goals about like, I want a certain vehicle, or I want a new computer, or I want whatever, no judgment. But there's also those deeper goals. Like you want to live feeling in peace. You want to feel comfortable in your body. You want to live in, abundance, or at least enough to not be stressed. You want to feel that overflow. You want to be able to do what you want. And these deep desires you have, first of all, are there on purpose. I have never once had a client come to me, or in any reading I've ever done, where it's been like, nope, that goal's not meant for you. There can be times when our goal is coming from a place of like, haha, I'll prove them, or I'll show them, F her, F him, But truly, those goals you have on your heart are part of your journey here this time. They are also built into your personal transformation. So the goals that you have pull you through personal growth and transformation. As you have the mindset shifts, as you take the action steps, you align with your evolution and your soul's plan. You came here to learn and grow, and your desires are like little anchors that keep pulling you forward. You keep wanting more, so you go to deeper parts of yourself. You explore healing, you explore, what all this stuff looks like, and that is actually helping your soul to evolve. By helping you to evolve here to free your human, your soul also evolves because it's part of its plan for you. So every desire you have on your heart is there for a reason. It's a nudge from your higher self guiding you toward what you're meant for. And that includes and pulls you through, sometimes kicking and screaming, growth and expansion. So sometimes the journey just isn't about getting the thing, and it's all about who you become. Even when we end up getting the thing, it's still all about who you become. The universe, life, God, source, this experience, your soul has been preparing you and continues to prepare you. So when we have these goals and it gets stuck, it gets hard, we're having a hard time creating it, it's because we've hit a growth ceiling. We've hit a wall. And that's almost always where clients come to me, or for myself, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Is this meant for me? And I have to use my tools, connect with my team, whether it's for my clients or for myself, remind me that these goals are on my heart for a reason, but what is this trying to pull me through? What is this making me have to look at? Who do I need to become, and why is that terrifying? And all of that stuff. because the journey isn't just about getting the thing. Even when it's totally good to get the thing, to be sitting in Bali, to be on a retreat, to have a business that generates you income, to feel vital and healthy in your body, that is so much of what we're going for and such a blessing that we get to experience. But it's also about that who you are becoming, and that is a more spiritual, deeper, soul level evolution that you're going through. Okay, so as a quick recap, making sure with your goals that you're not waiting, right? Not waiting for things to happen, but even micro actions starts setting you forward, starts giving you guidance, carves the path out in front of you. So making sure you're not waiting. Not forgetting about quantum alignment and your identity, who you are being, recognizing that your goals don't come just when you want them, but when you become them, as you become them, as you venture on that path. So who are you being, and who are you being in relation to your goals? And working on shifting your identity to match your desires before that physical proof comes up. And again, if you want help with all this, On the Path, the private community, education, resources, deep dives, we really go through it all. And I'm teaching all of this in March with our Mindset Mastery month. So thinking about the version of you who attracts wealth, love, success, confidence, whatever it is that you're going for, and really thinking about that. And how does that version of me be in this life? And sometimes taking all the energy that we've been going, what's my next step and what do I do, and funneling it into the being. The next one was remembering that it's about nourishing your goals rather than forcing, scrambling, trying really hard to just find the right thing. It's about nourishing. It's about taking action because it feels good. It's about nourishing your goal and doing what it takes to make sure your goal keeps going. It's moving forward with love and alignment, not because of desperation, not because you need to force anything, but because you care about your success. So you want to nourish your goals. You want to nourish yourself. And the last thing I talked about was the spiritual aspect of your goals. And sometimes it's very easy to get wrapped up in but what do I do? And how much money I'm making, or the numbers, or it's really easy to get wrapped up in all of this, but there's a spiritual side of it, that you have chosen these goals for the exact lessons that you are here to learn. You've had these desires on your heart for the exact lessons that your soul came here to learn. I call that the spiritual assignment. It's truly so much of why you're here. So when you feel stuck or stagnant, checking in with these aspects that we've talked about, but also asking yourself, what is this asking me to learn? What is this asking me to grow through? How is this preparing me for what's next? All right, my love. So I'm so excited for you. Start becoming that goal. Remember, you're not eternally blocked. There are no actual giant concrete blocks in the way. You are carving out your path. You are doing it. It may not look like the path you thought it was, but that's life, right? The only constant in life is change. So we got to keep rolling. But just remembering you are doing it. Continue growing through what you go through. Continue on this path, because your dreams, your desires are truly meant for you on a deeper level. So remembering that in your heart, staying on your path, doing your best job to take action and move forward, and just trust your success is inevitable. And if you want help, I highly recommend On the Path. And other than that, I will see you in the next episode. All right, have a great day. Peace. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope that it served you. So before you go, I want to share something with you. If you're loving these conversations about self-growth and healing and moving forward, and you're really ready for more tools, more implementation, more integration, more structure, more what do I do, I invite you over to On the Path. This is my only private community, and honestly, it's the place to be if you want to integrate, if you want to deepen your journey, and you find my work helpful. Here's the vibe: bite-sized practices, ongoing support, deep dive episodes, weekly practices, monthly challenges, literally just keeping you on your path, showing up for yourself day by day, week by week, month by month. So this is where you really put it into action, and I've got your back with these assignments, tools, practices, shifts, deep dives, meditations, journal prompts, and literally everything you could need to carve out your unique journey of self-growth, self-healing, and transformation. So I'm not going to go on and on. If you feel called, you feel called. And if you check below, because you made it all the way to the end of this, you'll find a link to join on the path for the first month for only $11. So after that, it's just $27 a month and you can go at any time. Okay, my love, I genuinely hope this episode lit you up, and I can't wait to welcome you over to On the Path, and I cannot wait to see you also in the next episode. Thanks so much and have a great day.